Evaluate the expression for x equals 5 and y equals 10. So we've done some evaluation before, but now we have two different variables with two different values. So the key thing to keep in mind when we're doing evaluating and we have more than one variable is just to be sure that the right value gets put into the right place. So our first example, we're being asked to take y minus x. Now remember with the evaluating, when we evaluate, there are two steps to evaluate. The first step is to substitute, and the second step is to simplify. And the simplify step is sometimes called the calculate step, the do the math step. So when we do these evaluate problems, we want to be sure that we show both steps, both the substitute step and the simplify step. A lot of people are tempted to kind of shortcut the substitute step and not write it down, just try to do it all mentally, but that can lead to a lot of mistakes, so let's be a little bit careful here. So we're being asked to do y, and we're going to subtract x. So they've told us that the value for y is 10. So we're going to take the y and it's going to go away, and in its place we're going to put in the 10. And then we're going to subtract the value for x. Well, they told us that the value for x is 5. So we're going to put in, whoops, we're not going to put in x, we're going to put in 5. So let me just get rid of that. There we go. So 10 minus 5. So there's our substitute step. Now that we've done that, now we can simplify. We can go ahead and do the math. 10 minus 5 would just equal 5. So we've evaluated the expression. In our next problem, we're still being asked to do this evaluating, but let's go ahead and pay attention here. When we've got x, y, notice there's no operation sign. So that means that this is going to be multiplication because those two, the x and the y, are juxtaposed. They're rammed up right next to each other. So the x, we're going to slip out, and the value for x is still the same. The value for x is still 5. And the value for the y, and I'm just going to use in color so we can keep the two variables separate. The value for y is 10. And now we can go ahead and do this multiplication. We can use the two parentheses rammed up right next to each other to keep the juxtaposition in play, or we could also go ahead and put in the multiplication dot. If you were to have written this as 5 times 10, that would be okay. But you'd want to be sure that you didn't write 10 times 5, right? Because the value for x isn't 10. The value for x is 5. So we have to be sure that we keep these in the right order. And now when we go ahead and do the multiplication, 5 times 10 is 50. So here we've done our substitute, and here we've done our simplify.